All right. How we doing,
Both bros
guys?
in the house. So we just got two bros today on this Mother's Day. Shout out to the mothers, by the way.
All your mothers.
Shout out to
all
all
your
y'all.
mothers.
Mothers, not just mothers. It's safe to say general women. We appreciate that. Appreciate that, guys.
We love our women. We love our women. Kay Adams
that's right,
is
dude. That's
up
right.
high on the list for sure.
You know, mothers that are, fur baby mothers. I'll go with that too. Maybe you like ducks. I don't know. Maybe you like chickens. I don't know. Mothers of whatever. Let's just talk about that. Your mothers of whatever. But we appreciate y'all and everything too.
So what are you saying, man? You
know what
have
I'm
a stroke
saying?
over there? What's
Whatever
going on,
you
dude?
like. Your dog, your cat,
Golly.
your birds, your whatever it is. A lot of different ways of mothers.
Boy, here we go.
You're being a provider. That's good. That's good. But anyways, guys, we got a lot of things kind of moving along today too. So we might have a little bit of a shorter situation, but rookie camps open. It's always great to be able to see more players out on the field. Once again, Harbaugh's out there coaching them, saying some crazy things, even too in some press conferences, talking about a ham. But also, we're going to do kind of a season schedule prediction too. So we'll kind of have a fun little exercise with you guys, trying to predict the schedule, which is going to get released on Wednesday. So we are excited about that to finally know where the Chargers are playing, who they're playing, and what weeks they are playing. So good times, guys.
Okay. All right. Both bros. Let's go.
Let's go.
What's up, Herbert, man? You watching the Boat Bros podcast. Stay tuned.
Charter blue dreams, stadium lights gleam. Boat Bros on the beat, lead stream. Chargers rocking speeds, Sonic supreme. From the podcast to the field, we're a team. Charged up, Boat Bros on the night. LA Thunder in electric delight. Bolts in the battle, sparking bright. Charged up, ride the lightning, feel the fright.
Okay. And again, call your mom, call your ladies, call your women in your life. Say, hey, thank you for being a woman today. You know what I mean? It's important.
Right.
It's important.
That's right. We appreciate them for sure, man. So hopefully you guys have some time today with your mom and everything too. Last night we went out with my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law, who's obviously a mother and everything too. And we ended up going to the Cheesecake Factory and had some fantastic food there. It was actually a really good time too. And it was kind of an interesting thing too. Our waiter, one of my nieces, she's 8 months old and everything too. And he was like so like baby hungry or something, and he just wanted to like hold her, and he was just like loving, having a baby in his hands and stuff. And he's actually from Alaska, which is crazy. But anyways, he just gave us this whole story about how he misses all his grandkids and stuff too. And but pretty cool to see, man. Pretty cool to see. But hopefully you can spend time with your mothers today.
Yeah. Say what up for sure. Yeah. I know we are, for James and I, so Kyle's obviously still in Utah, but James and I, we're going to have a prime rib. We're making a prime rib for our mom today. Well, I mean, I'm not.
Traeger is making it for us.
Traeger, it is being smoked.
Pop it in there, let it smoke, do its thing.
Pop it in there.
Yep, let it smoke.
It's going to be tasty, though. It's going to be tasty, so it's going to be good stuff. So, we got plenty to talk about, guys. I mean, I think it's an exciting time. Look, I think minicamp clear. It's funny. Harbaugh's hilarious to me. He got up there and he talked about how he wanted to do things differently this year. Because I think we have 92 men on the roster. Is that right?
Something crazy like that. Yeah. So
we got to get down. We get two people aren't going to be on the team, which is going to be really interesting. And I think they're trying to just figure out who's got talent, what they're going to do, and that's about it, right? And I think it's really going to be attitude also. Like, do you want to be here? What's your attitude like? And they got a spot for it. So it'll be really interesting to see what he does. He was talking about drills, all this other stuff that he wanted to do. Did it completely different this year.
Yeah, he even got like Ben Herbert involved a little bit more too with the players, which is awesome to see. I mean, obviously Ben Herbert is a guy, and I want to say even in the interview with I don't know if it was Jamari Caldwell or if it was Kyle Kennard, but he talked a little bit about Ben Herbert and everything like that. And you know, it's cool to see that he has a lot more hands-on with players now. Like he's understanding how to get it more involved with them too. And I always kind of felt like Ben Herbert would be a phenomenal coach, and I'm sure he's coaching in obviously different ways and conditioning and such too, get your body right kind of situations. But Ben Herbert's an absolute asset, man, and it's great to be able to see that. So I mean, once again, he's changing things up, and just to talk about that too. When Jim Harbaugh was talking about changing things up, he gave an analogy about a ham, pretty much. And he started talking about putting 1/3 of the ham in the oven because the oven can only fit so much kind of thing. And, it was just kind of a random little story that he threw out there. Another Harbaughism type thing that he's throwing out there.
What he said, let me explain. So like his mom always cut 1/3 of the ham, right? Yep. And then she's like, well, what? So she asked her mom, why do you cut 1/3 of the ham?
Yep.
So she cuts 1/3 of the ham. She's like, oh, well, my mom did it too, blah, blah, blah. Well, all the way back, like great-great-grandma, their oven was too small to actually fit the entire ham in. So they just cut the ham so they could fit it inside.
Yeah.
So it had nothing to – so the whole point is breaking tradition is a good thing, right? Like, why did they do that back then? It didn't really matter. So that's what he's getting at, trying to do something a little different. Again, I think it's just a deeper evaluation. This is just a part of the interview process for these guys and how far they're going to go. And it's just going to be exciting to see what they do.
Well, and the big thing too is Chargers know they have a lot of talent on this team now. And now they got to really decipher who could take what in. And, one thing Harbaugh even talked a little bit out in the press conference too, is he was like, hey, look, like, you give these guys a 90-minute crash course on how to do things around here. Now they got to go out field and execute kind of thing. And it's not like you can really do a whole heck of a lot with 90 minutes, but at the same side, it's about processing something and to be able to act upon it on field. And really, he's just trying to decipher who the heck is going to be guys that actually are here to play football and such too. I think one thing too is that's kind of cool is that he did bring up a couple of the undrafted guys. He brought up it was what's that?
Boy.
Yeah, Scott Steve Klotz.
Steve Klotz, yep.
He basically, and when you got a guy that's basically getting an undrafted guy where the head coach is saying your name already, I think you're probably on a pretty good position or trajectory with the team. He also brought up Raheem Sanders also too.
Yep.
And he also brought up the wide receiver from Kansas too, where he was like, yeah, I think he's going to be like another guy that I'm pretty excited about. So it was Luke Grimm, basically the Kansas wide receiver. So once again, like, there are guys out there that are making impressions already right now before really truly the season's even started. So it's exciting to be able to see. And those are guys that can fit.
I'll say one thing. Remember Matlock, his first year. Remember what he was doing. And I think this is what he wants to see from players. Remember Matlock at the very beginning of last season. They were like, oh, the turf looks better on this side. Let's move on this side. The grass looks better when we're practicing. Let's move everybody over here. And he wants to see leadership. He wants to see people that are going to step up and do different things and be part of the group and improve the group. And then obviously Matlock had, an accelerated, workload, right? I mean, he's on the offense and the defensive side of the ball. But my point is he just kept talking about how, hey, this looks better here. Anyways, Harbaugh specifically loves that. So I think that's what he's trying to evaluate also. Are these guys leaders? Do they want to be here? What's your attitude like? And so I think that's a big part of it as well too. But guys, we could talk about the free agents we signed. I mean, and again, these rookies are just trying to understand the rule book, the playbook, figure out what's going on. Clearly it's going to be an interesting situation. So I'm really curious to see what our offense looks like this year. I mean, I keep thinking about like Arondé Gatson, right? And because he's a slot tight end. He's not really a tight end.
No.
And you got someone like Steve Klotz, if he makes the squad, like how does that work? And how are they going to use him, differently? And gosh, I mean, man, and like, my gal, dude, why am I drawing a blank on her? Kay Adams. Talking about, trying to get a little tidbit that, Keenan Allen might be coming back to the Chargers. And Joe wouldn't give up any information on any of that as well, too. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So, but I don't know, man. I think this team is kind of set. I don't know that there's any more we need to go get. But, Joe says he wants to continue to improve it. So,
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing. There's 53 man, that's actually going to be on the official squad, and then you're going to have your practice squad of
Correct.
another 12 to, I think it's 16 players. I think on the
16.
practice
I
squad.
think it's 16, and I think you get one international player.
One international, yep, and that'll probably be our tight end that we ended up getting two from Australia. So once again, like this is a very filled out squad. Like this is a very, very filled out squad, and it's a squad that now having version 2.0 of the Chargers essentially now getting after 1 year of, you know what, essentially over delivering what Vegas basically thought of us to go 11-6 and go into the playoffs. Like that's over delivered at this point. And right now Vegas has us at 9.5 wins right now. So I think Chargers could have a great choice or chance to basically over deliver this upcoming season too. Cool. So I'm excited to be able to see where it's coming from. But once again, I saw some little tidbits of the rookie class and everything out there. You know, it's got a lot of little things out there that kind of show you just very little. But I thought it was kind of cool when Omarion Hampton and all these guys talked about some of their nicknames, like Omarion's called Big O is basically his nickname. And that's what Big O, we'll call him Big O Tires from now.
Yeah, just like the tires. He just keeps going. Dude, he's a big dude, man. He's a big dude.
He's good. He's good.
Hey, so I know let's see, Walt was talking a little bit about the defensive tackle room. Everyone seems to talk about that. I'll just say this. I really think our defensive line room is going to be solid this year. I don't see there's really any problems. The two scoop ups we got in free agency, I think were really good. Hand and why am I drawing a blank on the other guy? I think they're going to be good because remember when we signed up Poona Ford, everyone's like, Poona Ford's a nobody. He's not going to do anything. And he had a legendary year, and he got his bags with the Rams. So I think system fit, the guys we picked up already in free agency are going to be very good. And then we got Jamari, the guy in the draft. He's going to be absolutely solid from Oregon. So like I truly feel like we're going to be fine on the defensive line. The whole point about the defensive line is just block destruction, destroy the gaps, and collapse the pocket. That's a big part of our situation.
Well, yeah, you got Naquan Jones, you got basically Sean Hands, Justin Aboigbe has been talked about already, gaining 20 plus pounds. I mean, they're adding a lot of beef to the line, and Tier Tart's one of those guys that I've always been a fan of. Like,
he's so good.
Super good. And I mean, Tito Obonia is another guy too, and you're obviously going to see Scott Matlock on that side too. Now, I will say, and kind of go back to the undrafted free agents, if Steve-O Klotz finds his way on his team, I think he could potentially be the fullback. If you guys go, and I will probably do a video on him, because go on his Instagram, Steve-O Klotz Instagram, and watch his highlights of blocking. I mean, it is. That's what Harbaugh saw, and that's what Harbaugh wants. Like
he wants to pancake people.
Yeah,
right?
That's unbelievable to watch. And he's known as a tight end, but he's really kind of like a fullback kind of guy. So, I mean, he could be a great asset. Think of him a lot like the fullback that the Ravens have. His name is passing me by right now, but basically he's a guy that's going to Patrick Ricard. He's kind of very similar to Patrick Ricard at this point. So he's one of those guys I'm definitely going to be watching at in the preseason and seeing how he kind of develops in this team. So I think he's got a great chance to be the starting fullback for this team. So
and it'll be interesting to see too if we have 3 running backs going into the season, right? That would be pretty amazing. Big O, and if we get J.K. Dobbins, I mean, it's kind of looking like he's coming back. I think he just doesn't want to go to camp, right? He already knows the offense, so like why have him go to camp? That actually might be a big reason why they did the signing the way they did, in my opinion, just because the thought is like, well, we don't need you at camp. Just relax, get your body right, focus on yourself, and then we'll bring you back, as it pertains. And who knows, maybe a team has their number one running back go down, and then he gets a larger contract somewhere else, and it is what it is. But the Chargers lose nothing because we could then get a comp pick. We'd be available to get a comp pick. So, anyways, I think pretty interesting.
Well, even to say, I read an article this morning about Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers is kind of that situation too. He's late in his career. He's basically like, hey, dude, like, I don't care to be with the team right now. Let me just have some time to kind of enjoy being away from the team and, get my body right, get my mind right kind of thing too. And I think they said it was like 12 days before the Steelers and their first like mandatory minicamp is going to pop in. So it's like, he's like, hey, dude, like, I don't need to sign until we get to that point kind of thing. And it's not like, I think it might have been even Kyle Kennard. He talked a little bit about just kind of the scheme of things and, coming in and trying to figure things out immediately and everything like that. It's like, he's like, to be honest, it's all the same stuff. It's just different languages. That's all it really is. once you figure out the language, you're fine, dude. It's all the same thing. Guarantee Aaron Rodgers could probably go to the Steelers and he'd know everything. Or you call this type of play this, or you call this that kind of thing. Like that's all he's got to figure out, and then he knows what to do with it.
But here's my thing: would you want Aaron Rodgers to be your quarterback? I think he's done. The goose is cooked. You know what I mean? And I don't see it anymore, man. You know, I just there's a level of arrogance there, and just man, you know, and the Jets bent over backwards for him. They bent over backwards, and they couldn't make it work. So I don't see that type of shenanigans working for the Steelers. My buddy Ian, who's a big Steelers fan, we were talking about it, I think a couple weeks ago, and he's like, "Man, I do not want us to get Aaron Rodgers." I'm like, "Yeah, I wouldn't either." What do you guys think in the chat? Should they get him? And by the way, yeah, Carr is done.
Yep.
Yeah, James, you and I were talking about that as well too. You know, he's done as well. So, but you know, it's interesting, man. I mean, look, I mean, this is a violent sport. It is what it is. You can only last so long. You know. Well,
and the thing about Carr too, and now you got Kellen Moore over there as a first-time head coach. Now basically sent you with 3 pretty. I think they said the quarterbacks currently on the team are 0-7 right now.
Yep.
And so he's obviously got a new quarterback that they ended up drafting slow, and they brought him in and everything too. But at the same side, the quarterbacks that are there have not won a game outside of what was the tight end from BYU that's who over there too. Oh gosh, what's his dang name? Anyways, they signed him. Oh, I cannot remember his name, but he's been there forever.
Oh, but, no, you're talking about Rudolph? Is it Rudolph?
No. He was a long time ago quarterback for BYU back in the days. Tight end for Saints. Anyways, he's the only Taysom Hill.
Oh, Taysom Hill. That's right.
Yeah, so Taysom Hill's the only quarterback, which is, I'm giving you air quotes again, chat, that's on the team that actually has won a game in regular season, which is crazy. So once again, like it's going to be an interesting situation for a lot of teams with quarterbacks out there. Now, once again, I know we all of a sudden became an NFL recap thing here too. You have 5 quarterbacks on the Browns. What the heck are they going to do? But I expect a trade happening there to possibly get one of them to the Saints. I could totally see that happening. So,
well, this is where let's bring it back to the Chargers, right? Just real quick. It's not a problem to stack players because guess what? No. People get hurt in camp.
Exactly.
Someone blows a knee out, broken bones, whatever. Oh, crap. We need to go get a running back. Oh, we need a lineman. We need something. Guess what? Teams are going to call. Hey, I need somebody. All right, cool. You got him over a barrel. You want him, you're going to pay top dollar for him. I mean, look, we got two pretty good quarterbacks right now backing up Justin Herbert at the moment. We'll see what happens and who does best. And then we got DJ Ungale, right? Who's an undrafted free agent, right? Well, we'll see what he does also as well, too. So my point in saying this is this gives a lot of these people an opportunity to actually go out there and show what they can do in the league. And other teams might scoop them up because they won't have as much depth as the Chargers have. I truly believe the Chargers have more depth than we've ever had in a very long time. Our team is very stacked. So, and Kyle, by the way, is sick, guys. He's at home sick, so just drop him a line if you have his information.
Well, and even to go back to the quarterback conversation here, obviously we got a dog at Justin Herbert as a quarterback, and it's great to be able to see him on the field once again.
Oh, yeah.
I always love seeing him out there and everything, too. And obviously they're not doing anything too crazy at all right now. This is just conditioning, more or less, at this point. Getting players right, get their body right kind of situation. But to your point in your conversation, it's not bad to stack a bunch of quarterbacks on your teams, right?
Yeah.
And you got to think about what the Chargers did. Taylor Heineke is one thing, Trey Lance is another. So, and it really is going to be against those two guys are going to be who's going to be QB2 and who's going to be on practice squad and who's not going to be on practice squad kind of thing. Or I should say even emergency quarterback. What if Trey Lance ends up killing it in preseason and then basically the Saints are like, hey, we need a quarterback and Trey Lance is looking pretty good. All right, we'll give you guys like a 4th or a 5th or whatever for the guy kind of thing. Like there's connections with the Chargers there too. So keep in mind, being smart, man. I mean, the Browns are being smart, stacking a bunch of quarterbacks. Chargers got a couple guys that could end up being something good. So who knows?
Well, it's funny. I wouldn't watch a little baseball. I'm a Padre fan. James, you're a Padres fan as well, too. And
by the way, Rocky Stray got destroyed.
Oh, yeah. I watched the game live.
21-0.
Yeah.
Dude, I was like, holy smokes.
Crazy. So, we got a lot of Padres and Dodger fans in the chat here, but the thing about baseball that has always frustrated me is you could stack players. Look at the Dodgers, look at these teams. And you cannot do that as much in football because football, you have the salary cap, and you have to adhere to it. It's one of those really, you're sort of stuck. It's a little bit different with baseball. So my point is, I do think that, clearly they're doing the best they possibly can to stack. And remember, guys, last year, how many people ended up on the injured reserve and they just added another player in the practice squad, added another player in the practice squad. As soon as you put them in injured reserve, just get another person, get another person. They were stacking as many players as you possibly could. They did not care. And so they really leveraged that ability, and it paid off well. I mean, the Chargers did really great. So
yeah, absolutely. And to that point, right now, Chargers have a really solid depth on their team. I mean, going back to the whole rookie minicamp and kind of what Harbaugh's looking, he's just trying to find the guys, sift through the guys that feel like they want to put in that extra work and that are actually absorbing what's going on in their head, because there's only so much you could get from them right now, but you got one weekend, prove yourself kind of thing.
Yeah.
And because, I mean, we're going to have some interesting cuts this year as guys. So there's going to be a lot of things moving around with this team this off season, or excuse me, going into the regular season too. So I'm excited about it. But yeah, once again, rookie minicamp is going down. I always love watching some of the videos on Instagram, seeing people do their things. And I had my brother-in-law texted me over a video of Cam Scatterbo over at, because he's a big ASU fan, of him over at the Giants. And I was like, I broke that down. And once again, going back to a whole NFL talk, Giants kind of a mess. And to be honest, the head coach and the GM are on their last leg. If it does not work out, and they have to, with Russell Wilson as a quarterback and then Jackson Dart as the second quarterback, essentially too, that doesn't work out. They're both gone. Cam Scatterbo is going to have a hard time running the ball when his quarterback play ain't good. And if he doesn't have a good O-line, all that kind of stuff. Rookie quarterbacks love running backs. And if you got a crappy quarterback out back there, it ain't going to go well for you, bud. So, but it sucks to see Cam Scatterbo over there. I was hoping for him to land in a better position, because I don't think it's going to be a good position there for him. So, but love to see it. Love to see the running backs out there and the rookies out there doing their thing.
Yeah, and a lot of people keep talking about Keenan Allen. Guys, do you think Keenan Allen comes back this year? Yes or no? James, what do you think real quick? I know, again, it's rookie camp, right? But what do you think? The reason why it's relevant is I think depending on how the rookies look to, during camp will really probably determine whether or not the Chargers even try to bring him back, right? So I don't think he comes back. It absolutely breaks my heart to say that, because I love Keenan Allen. I would love him to come back. But I think he's going to want a lot of money, and I just don't see it happening, especially with – anyways, what's your take on it?
Yeah, it's a hard thing to understand. And I mean, we have a slide kind of later on talking about Ortiz and when he met with Kay Adams and everything too. And you kind of break down a little bit of that conversation. And really what it is we have a pretty filled out wide receiver group. And I think the thing is, though, with this whole, rookie minicamp, he's just trying to just decipher, hey, can Keandre Lambert-Smith be that guy? Can Trey Harris really be that guy for us? Like, can they be those, wide receiver 2, 3 kind of guys for us? Like, will they fill it out well? Do they feel good coming out of this rookie minicamp with the wide receiver groups that they have? Do they feel like Keenan Allen could be that guy that could add a lot more to this group? I don't know. Like, and I will say, yes, he's a Hall of Fame type wide receiver. He's a guy that could add to it. Now, once again, I don't know if that's going to be something that we're going to basically see. I just don't think it's going to happen at this point. But once again, going back to that conversation about Aaron Rodgers, it's Aaron Rodgers probably ain't going to sign with the Steelers until basically their OTA start, which is later this month. And because it's a veteran guy's like, hey, man, I don't really need to be there until then, kind of thing. So,
well, and even then he can understand. This is a good question here by George Casillas. You think Ladd would do the same as last season? I don't think he will. And I'm going to tell you why. The only reason I say that is because there's more players on the team to distribute the ball, right? I do think Harris will do well. Williams will do well.
Tyler Conklin, I think, will help out a little bit too.
Going to do well.
You got to run. Could be a big part of this too.
Yep. So, but maybe on third down, things like that, right? I think you'll start seeing let me go back to the Herbert slide real quick. I want to bring something up that I thought I've been thinking a lot about, and I remember, and this is way back in the cuts, guys. It's interesting because I know you wanted to do a video on Justin Herbert getting to the Hall of Fame and this and that. I want to have kind of an interesting conversation about it just briefly. It hit me. Do you remember that video when Brandon Staley and Kellen Moore were together, and Kellen Moore was explaining his offense to Justin Herbert in camp, and he was hitting these like dimes, these ultra hard throws, right? And Kellen Moore even said, you threw it to the wrong guy, meaning the play was designed to go to like Keenan Allen or Mike Williams, but he threw it to somebody else, and it was the harder choice. So the one question I have, guys, and I want to have this conversation, do you think that Justin Herbert is holding himself back? Well, do you think he's hurting his ability because he's not playing within the system, or do you think he's kind of doing his own thing? I'm not really saying this exactly the right way. Well, like, again, the play is designed to go 1, 2, 3, 4, right? This, and then you check down or run or whatever.
Sure.
But sometimes his progression's like obviously different than the way the play was designed. Does that make sense? So do you feel like that's holding him back, or do you think it's elevating his gameplay? And what do you guys think in the chat? Because I thought about that a lot. And again, that was Kellen Moore. Again, that was his third offensive coordinator he's had in the NFL. And now he's with a new one. I'm just curious what your thoughts are on that as well, too.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say. I really don't know, but I remember one thing that Kellen Moore talked a little bit about was how the release of an arm angles that Justin Herbert had, and he wanted to try to adjust that and everything too. And, to some extent, it kind of changed a little bit too. But, once again, maybe he kind of wants to try the harder throws, especially in practice, because he wants to just see where his limits are and, push his limits a little bit too. So I really don't know how to truly answer that one, to be honest. But we know Justin Herbert's got plenty of skill set to do whatever he needs to do and make the throws when he needs to make the throws.
I guess maybe the better way of saying it is it when you say you're a system quarterback, that's what I would say a system quarterback is. You're Alex Smith.
Yep.
You're just, hey, ball goes at Joe Flacco. It go read one, boom, hit him. That's it. I think Justin Herbert tends to go a little off script. That's maybe the better way of saying it a little bit more. I would definitely argue right now that, of course, there's a few other quarterbacks in the league that Patrick Mahomes being one that is better off script. But Justin Herbert makes those amazing throws. You're like, holy smokes, how did that even happen? Right?
Yeah.
Your mind is blown. So I guess the question that I have is I guess let me land my plane. The whole reason why I'm bringing this up is I'm wondering if this year is the year we see him become more of the system fit type quarterback and a little less off script is what I'm getting at. Because I think that could make him a Hall of Fame quarterback, because you got to remember the guys in the booth, they're looking up there and they're seeing they're running 3-4 defense. Okay. The middle of the field should be open. The play is designed to go and really simple. And going from there. And again, TD's exactly right. Kellen Moore was trying to scheme guys open. I think Herbie sometimes threw people open, if that makes sense. So again, I just think it's an interesting conversation.
Well, if you go to last season, I think Justin Herbert was a scheme fit type guy, because you can think it's not like his stats were wild off like the charts. You weren't getting 35 touchdowns out of this guy. You were basically getting what was it, two interceptions the entire season? Obviously 4 when the playoffs, but like whatever. But we don't talk about that.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But
he was a very
that's a good point.
Fit, player last year, and I expect the same type of thing now. It's going to be very spread out. I don't expect him to make those risky type throws. He was a very, very scheme fit quarterback last year and did well. His best season that he had as a career quarterback ranking and even winning record for him this last season. So yeah, I think he could be a system fit guy.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's a good point. I hadn't thought of it that way, because he did not throw hardly any. Was it 2 all season?
I think it was 2. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. Holy cow.
Crazy.
And then
it was 3. Okay, it was 3. Okay.
3. Okay, yeah. And then we don't want to talk about again. But here's my point. the thing that's nice about Herbert, and I will say this, Herbert now has a full team around him.
Yep.
He has to perform with the full team around him. And that's where I think he's in great shape. So I think there's going to be a lot to be said about that.
And you got to look at what like he had last year. I remember, and I've said this a couple different times. I mean, Jim Harbaugh talked about like this is probably going to be the worst offense that Justin Herbert's going to have with me as being a head coach here.
Yep.
And you got to understand what he ended up coming in for this team. I mean, the amount of offensive players that they added in the draft shows
crazy.
We need to make sure we get this guy as many weapons as you possibly can.
Yep.
And Oronde Gadsden, the second, like he's a pedigree-based player. His dad played in the NFL too.
Yeah.
And he is a guy, when you look on tape, you're like, okay, cool. Like even Jim Harbaugh talked about it too. And I'm actually just going to switch over to that slide just to show Jim Harbaugh a little bit. But the whole thing too is that he brought up the Oronde Gadsden thing. And he's like, look, we know what he could do on film. We could see what he does. We know that he's got to learn how to basically block a little bit more, but that's things that we're going to teach him over time. He's got the built body that he can do that. We're just going to teach him to be able to get to that point. Then you go out there and you end up having, Keandre Lambert-Smith, a guy who is an absolute burner with extremely long arms, a guy that can make those home run type plays too. You had Trey Harris, who is a guy that I think in my mind, I still look at him like a 50-50 ball Mike Williams kind of guy, but plus like a T. Higgins type guy. Then, you add some of the guys that you currently have in there. Like, let's say Quentin Johnston, like once again, if Quentin Johnston could just get his concentration up to where he could be that dude, you understand the amount of weapons that you have surrounded with him, plus Mike Williams with Ladd, Quentin, Mike Williams, Trey Harris, Keandre Lambert-Smith, Darius Davis. That is a very, very built out situation.
You didn't even say QJ too. QJ.
Yeah, did I say Quentin Johnston? Didn't I?
Oh, did you? Oh, did you? Okay.
Quentin Johnston, and then I mean, go up there and say Will Dissly. He overperformed last season.
Yeah, he did.
Tyler Conklin is a very good, solid tight end. They'll get you great catches, 500 plus yards. I mean, go back to the running back room. If you get J.K. Dobbins on top of that, like, dude, he's got more than enough situation players that's going to put him in a better situation all around this next season. So, personally, the stats of 23 touchdowns or whatever that Justin Herbert had last season with 3 picks, I kind of feel like if in the chat, do you feel it's going to be over 23 touchdowns, passing touchdowns for Justin Herbert next season? Or do you feel like it's going to be the same with the new weapons that are added to the team? So in the chat, give me a over-under for Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert on touchdowns.
This is a good comment here from Aether. Yeah. So George says over. I think it'll be over too. Yep. I think they're going to sling the ball quite a bit this year. I do think that I think 4,500 makes some more sense. I mean, there's look, you got to remember in the Houston game, guys. In the Houston game, Ladd McConkey was triple teamed at times.
Yeah,
guys,
and broke the rookie record in yards.
Yes,
crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
He was triple teamed, but they knew that QJ wasn't going to stop him, right? They weren't going to get anything with QJ. He was like mentally out of it or something. I don't know what's going on with him in that game. But my point is, there was, they just knew they needed to stop down Ladd, and he still did a good job, right? So, yeah.
Well, and it's interesting that Pablo brings this up. And the thing about it is, like, let's say we get the 3-headed monster of running backs. You understand? We got Greg Roman, who is a very run-heavy type scheme kind of guy. Yeah, I mean, there's a legitimate chance that Justin Herbert could be under 23 touchdowns next season because if you got 3 running backs that are just ripping and roaring, you have an O-line that you put Mekhi Becton on the right side with Joe Alt, and then you got Slater on the left, and then and once again, Jim Harbaugh did talk about the whole O-line situation. At this point, kind of Bradley Bozeman's kind of the guy, but Zion's out there, and he even said, those balls are popping, basically talking about like Zion basically being a center. It's kind of a funny thing he said that. But bottom line, if that O-line does what it does and it could control the complete line blocking schemes and just not allow Justin Herbert to do his thing, we could basically keep rotating in 3 running backs through an entire game, having 17 play type drives and basically just, demolish the other team, basically
Well,
demoralize
that's how the
them.
Eagles play football too, though. That's pretty much what they do, and then they do the
Right.
brotherly shove, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, look, that's how they want to play, and the rotation of the offensive line is going to be really interesting. It's really going to be the interior offensive line, right? Zion Johnson, Andre James, and then oh my gosh, why am I drawing a blank on his name?
Becton.
Yeah, Mekhi Becton is probably going to be the right guard.
100%. Yep.
Yeah, and then Bozeman. So they're going to rotate those players around, right? And then maybe the rookie. We'll see how he does. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But man, I kind of like the idea of Zion being center. He's so athletic. He's so smart too.
Well, and that's one thing that he talked about. He's like, he's such a smart dude. Like, he's a very, very smart guy, and he looks like he's doing pretty good things all around. Now, once again, preseason is going to tell us a lot. Camp's going to tell us a lot about this whole situation. I mean, I know Walt in the chat's talking a little bit about Andre James. Like, once again, Andre James 2 years ago was actually pretty solid.
Yeah,
like he was very, very solid. Now, once again, Antonio Pierce, I knew when he was going to be there, he was only going to be there for one more year, and they're going to move on from that point. And I should say, gave him one more year essentially. So I do think that it was one of those things that it was like, hey, bad system, bad fit at that point, and Andre James just got smoked. Obviously, they did also draft another center who outplayed him too. But hey, I look at it, Andre James is a good depth for us. Basically, I don't think he's a starter for us.
Yeah, we're only paying $1 million a year for him. Which
that's not starter money. That's not starter money at all.
Yeah, Bozeman's getting like $4 million, so I think it'll be over that. But we'll see what happens. We also didn't get the 5th-year option for Zion, so we'll see what happens with that. Again, who knows what happens with injuries with other teams? That might be a trade.
Exactly.
Eighth, or my prediction, Herbert will get the MVP, get 4,600 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 212 rushing, and 6 touchdowns. Holy smokes.
Man, well, that would be absolutely ridiculous. That happens, man. And Nathan, thank you so much, my guy. Appreciate it for the $4.99 super chat, dude. Yeah, I mean, sky's the limit. This guy's got weapons, right? It's just the weapons have to come together for him. And if the O-line does what it does, and you have a running game backing him up, it's going to be a fun season. And once again, we got a lot of tough games ahead of us here, guys. And so, we'll talk about the season schedule here pretty shortly. We'll go over kind of a prediction if you guys want to go over that. So,
yeah. What do you guys think actually, is it this next week that it's
Wednesday?
Oh my gosh, we got to go live for that too, by the way.
Oh, we 100%. And I can't wait for the season schedule video to release. We're going to do this season too. I keep giving a lot of air quotes too on today, so air quoting it today. So
air quoting it up.
And Eddie, happy birthday to you, my guy. Have a good time out in Palm Springs, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, guys, we are going to be coming out with some new merch as well too. We've been talking quite a bit about it. We got a bunch of ideas. We need to freshen the look up. You know what I mean? So we'll make that happen as well too. So we've been kind of going back and forth on it.
Yep. And I was going to say just one quick little note. Obviously, Joe Ortiz around. He was on the Kay Adams show here, and one thing that I want to bring out from this whole video is that they talked about the whole Keenan Allen situation, and Joe Ortiz has said, "Hey, look, like we're always going to be going out there and look to find ways to make this team better." But they did kind of gush a little bit about Trey Harris. And Trey Harris is going to be a guy that could be an absolute dog for us. So I think bottom line, the way that this team is built, it is built to have a lot of depth, which is very contrasting of what we had in the past with, Mr. Telesco and everything like that. I feel like we got a very deep team all around. I do have some areas of concern, which I'd probably, as we get closer to the season, I probably will do a video on areas of concern and things that I feel might be kind of gaps in the team. But once again, scheme fit matters. Coaching matters big time on getting players in the right place, which, last week we talked about the Jesse Minter interview on Charger Weekly. It's like, hey man, like get the players in the right position to be successful. And that's essentially what we're going to do again with these players too.
Man, it's so crazy. If you have not watched this, you should definitely watch this. This is a really good little interview. And Ortiz, guys, remember last year too, we were scooping up players every single week. And again, that we talk about the players. As soon as we scoop up somebody, we let somebody go. We do a video on it. That's really what we do here on this channel. And they are always looking for better players. They are always looking for people. I mean, again, remember Tierra Tart? We scooped up Tierra. When did we grab Tierra Tart? Was it the beginning of the year?
It was, I think, during camp, just
Oh,
about
it
around
was camp.
during
Yes,
camp,
it was camp.
because
Yeah.
the Dolphins let him go, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I wanted him in the free agency.
Yes, you
And
did. I remember you talking about that. And so I'm just saying things can get moved around pretty quick, right? They're clearly have stacked ranked all these players. Somebody comes available, they're going to look at that list and go, do we want him or not? You know, as opposed to Ron Tabasco, aka, he did nothing. I mean, he basically draft's done and walks away from the whole thing. And it's like, dude, be proactive, go get some guys, and it's freaking.
And that was so frustrating with him because, I mean, Telesco was always like, these are my guys. And guess what? If we're going to fill anything up, we're going to get some dude off the streets. Now, going back to the whole idea of like coaching matters and GMs matter too. Think about last year, Marcus May, Eli Apple, these guys that were just grabbing off of the wire and they actually were performing well for us.
Mm-hmm.
Coaching matters, schemes matters, puts players in the best situations all around. And I believe they did even bring that up a little bit in this interview too.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Which was awesome. Elijah Molden was another guy that ended up becoming an absolute dog for us too. And, obviously signed an extension with us very early on, one of our first signings in the offseason this year. So once again, we have such a great situation right now for the Chargers. I think we have a very, very good built, team top to bottom. I'll even give a shout out to the Spanoses. I think the Spanoses are doing great things to make sure they could have a good product on field too. Good people around them. Let them do their jobs too.
Yeah.
And not get in the middle of them. I mean, we don't have a Jerry Jones essentially on this team as an ownership. And we got an ownership that allows the team who they hire do their jobs. And I think that's one thing that it's great to see, that we got a very good situation ahead for the Chargers. So once again, I'm really excited about the 2025 season, man. And I can't wait for it, man. So
no, it's going to be exciting. We got to go to camp as well too. I'll say this, it's exciting to see what we do. I'm wondering, I'm interested to see how different the offense is going to be compared to year 1 to year 2. I think year 2 is going to be a little different. Again, I don't know what that's going to be. I don't know how that's going to be played out, but I think I guess my point is you got Trey Harris, you got some field stretchers. That's going to be a little more explosive, right? Are we going to try and run more plays, kind of like the Dolphins did with that kind of that orbit route, kind of option? You could do a lot more. We'll leave it at that. And I just think that's exciting.
Absolutely. Go back to Jesse Minter and what he's talked about. And I keep referring back to his interview, but it was interesting because talked about, hey, look, like we're not known as a man type defense, but just sleep on us, because maybe we will be that guy. And that's one thing that even Jim Harbaugh talked a little bit about, is like understanding we could be shifting out quite a bit. We could get away from the traditions a little bit too. So this team could be different coming out this next season. But once again, when you got so many weapons on this team, you got a guy, a defensive coordinator who knows what he's doing, and he can plug in players and make them superstars pretty quickly. It's going to be an exciting season, guys. And once again, we're going to do a little bit of a season predictor type thing with you guys. If you guys want to, we have a whole sheet build out of all the opponents that we're going to play here.
Yep.
It is not a easy schedule by any means, guys.
No.
That's ahead of us
It's gonna be rough.
I should say ahead of us as fans, not as players. I'm not playing.
We're not out there playing.
We're not out there doing our thing, but let's just go ahead and bring it on up, guys. So once again, this season, the actual schedule will be released on Wednesday. So look out for that on Wednesday to be able to see that. We're going to have probably some leaks out there, which we kind of already hear some leaks. Obviously, weeks ago, we heard about this with week 1 for the Brazil game, which is going to be pretty cool. So once again, we're going to kind of go over just kind of where we think and what we think will be the schedule for the upcoming season. And, look at that home schedule, guys. Chiefs, so Broncos, Vikings, Colts, Raturds. I like the toilet papers logo there. Steelers, Texans, Eagles, Commanders. Look, these are like playoff teams right here. Playoff team. You have basically 6 teams right there that are playoff-based teams. Did the Steelers didn't go to the playoffs, did they?
No, I think they did.
They did. Yeah. They got smoked, right? I think so all right. So these are oh my gosh. So 7 of the 9 home games are playoff teams that we're going to be starting with.
going to be
Now,
crazy.
away, you obviously have your standard AFC West. Then you got your Dolphins. You got the Jags. Cowgirls, baby.
Woo!
And your Titans and Giants. So it's honestly, if you base upon 2024, yeah, the away schedule looks way better than the home schedule.
Yeah.
But my biggest concern is, hey, look, like we didn't play well against the good teams last year. And that's the thing that we're going to have to go against now is we're going to have to win against the good teams this upcoming season, which is good. Iron sharpens iron, right? You know, you go against the best to be the best kind of thing. And, you know, it'll make you stronger as a team. And so we had to make sure this team is going to be ready for that. So I
would just say one thing too. The home schedule is important. If you're going to buy season tickets, if you wanted to sell some season tickets, probably not a bad time to get some. I mean, the Chiefs fans travel, Broncos fans travel, Steelers fans travel, right? So Eagles fans travel. Remember when we went to the Eagles and a Rams game? That was extremely expensive. I couldn't even believe how expensive those tickets were.
Crazy.
So I'm just saying, like, if you had season tickets, you probably could, at least make some money back if you sell a few back here and there.
Yep. Absolutely. So we're excited about it, man. And we're excited to be out there for some of these games too. So let's start with week 1. Obviously it's in Brazil. We know it's in Brazil. Chargers are going to be to play the first game in Sao Paulo, Brazil, which would be so sick to be able to be out there. There's a bunch of events going on there too. I did a video about this and basically kind of broke down to pretty much any of the AFC West teams. Commanders, Eagles cannot be that because they're going to be playing Thursday night. The Chargers game will be on a Friday night for us here. Basically, it's going to be one of these teams. And personally, I broke it down to it's either going to be the Commanders or it's going to end up being the Chiefs or one of the AFC West teams. The rumor has it, if we want to stick to the rumor, it's going to be the Chiefs, from what I've been told.
Yeah.
Seems like there's a ton of reports that it's going to be the Chiefs. And yes, Darth Panic, that's the thing. It's been confirmed. I expect that confirmation to be able to be approved, I guess, in a sense. I remember out in Brazil, NFL Brazil, I believe, tweeted out weeks ago that it's supposed to be the Chiefs. Crazy that we get to play the Chiefs week 1. And I mean, why I think that makes the most sense is because YouTube is bidding on this game to be the exclusive provider of the game, and it's going to be free for everybody.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes. So week 1 is going to be broadcast on YouTube. You have to say it's probably, my opinion, I think it would have been cool if they went with the Texans to start out this week 1, just because how our season begins. And we get kind of a neutral zone essentially with that. But the Chiefs will sell and bring a lot of people to the product. So
yeah, they will too.
So if YouTube is bidding on it, it's probably going to be the Chiefs. So I might just do the due diligence and just put the Chiefs week 1 and just call it.
Let's just do that.
Because we already kind of know. Like at that point, I'm going to put this as a Thursday night football type game too.
So is it gonna go down as a home team though? Home game?
It is a home game for us. Yes, because that's why we have 9 games here. So essentially, they felt like they could flex one of these games out to be overseas. And that's what they did. So
got it. Okay.
So week 2, from this point, where do we go from here? Do we go home actually at this point and actually have a game at SoFi, or do we go away at this point? I don't know. What's your thoughts on that, bro? Do you feel the NFL would put them on a road game immediately after being at essentially a road?
No, I think it's a home game. That would be my guess.
So do you think it's going to be division? Do you think Cowboys? Do you think Jags?
I think Cowgirls.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. It's going to be these teams right here. So do you feel like it would now go to an NFC opponent? Would it be an Eagles game? Would it be Commanders? If it's going to be home, it's going to be one of these teams. So who would it be for week 2 if it's at home?
I don't know. Yeah. I like I said, I would say Cowgirls or something like that.
That's the away schedule. So if you're home schedule wise, you would say, hey, Texans. Would you want to say the home game to be the Eagles? I personally think it's going to be the Colts. Week 2 at home versus the Chargers in SoFi. I think that's a good call. What do you think that can chat about that? Do you think the Colts week 2 at SoFi?
Everyone says Colts.
Colts. Okay. I think it makes sense, right? I think it's just kind of one of those games that you could say, hey, look, put it week 2. It's not going to be like a premier game or anything like that. I think it'll end up just being a good situation for the Chargers to go back, essentially kind of have a little bit of a bye week. You get basically the Saturday, Sunday to travel back, get your mind right, ready for a Sunday game in the afternoon. So I think that's a good call.
I see some people talking about the Texans also being week 1 as well too. Man, I kind of like that almost more. What do you guys think?
I've been saying that for the longest time. I think the Texans would be great, but once again, it seems like the rumors, which was weeks ago, NFL talked about the Chiefs being week 1. So
well, and that's fine either way. And then the other one that I saw for week 2 would be maybe the Raiders Monday night, and that would be an away game, which is kind of crazy too. You're like, wow, Brazil and then an away game. I don't know. That can be kind of tough.
I mean, you could play them at home. I mean, you get to play the Raiders twice a season. So, I mean, you could put them as week 2 Monday night.
Well, no, I'm just saying it doesn't have to be a home game. I mean, I get the argument that, it could be, but I think a lot of people are saying that it could be the Raiders away.
That'd be interesting. I mean, it's not like
Brazil and then Vegas, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But
I think maybe Steelers week 3 kind of makes sense.
At home?
Yeah.
So 3 home games essentially?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think week 2 might not be that as well. So I would say Steelers personally.
Wow. I mean, we got to get an away game at some point.
Well, that's why I said I think week 2 might be the Raiders in Vegas. That's why I'm saying that.
In Vegas. Yeah, I mean, we could switch that up. I mean, it seems like a lot of people in the chat were saying Colts too for week 2. So what are we looking at here? Raiders, Texans. Oh, man, we got Miguel's over here hitting it up, already going through the whole schedule. I can't imagine.
What do you say? What do you say on week 3?
I just can't imagine it's going to be that much division games that early on. That's the thing.
Yeah, but week 1 is not a home game. That is an away game no matter what, right? So that's what I'm getting at. You could say it's a home game, but it's not really a home game. It's you're in Brazil, right? So I don't know. That doesn't matter. So that's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yep, sure. I mean, I don't feel like they would throw them to another road game, regardless of where they would go, how far or not. I feel like they would give them a home game per se, an actual home game.
Yeah, but that's what you think, right? I mean, it doesn't matter what we think,
Yep, 100%.
It's what they're going to schedule.
Yep.
No, but I mean, I would say Steelers maybe, or maybe Raiders,
Week 3 away.
Yeah. I would say Steelers or Raiders week 3. What do you guys think week 3? Steelers or Raiders? That'd be my choice.
I'm going to say they're going to put you. I think it's going to end up being the Texans or something like that, or the Titans. I'm sorry, the Titans away. Reason why I feel like they're going to kind of give you a little bit of a softer schedule. Now, once again, you can't base 2024 on 2025 at this point. But I feel like it's going to end up going to kind of more of a Titans type situation. So week 3, what do you guys think?
Weren't good either last year. So, I mean, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. But either way, so TD says Jags. I say Raiders or Steelers.
Man, it's going to be all over the place here.
Yeah, well, that's kind of that's what I'm saying.
Well, let's do. You want to do Raiders away on week 3?
Yep.
It seems like a pretty good situation. It would be kind of an interesting thing to think about if it's a Sunday night football type game or a Thursday night football game type situation too, because the Pete Carroll and Harbaugh story,
Yeah.
So that would be kind of an interesting one to think about that, or even to go Monday night football week 3.
Yeah.
That would be
a lot of people think Monday night football for the Raiders game. So I would say Monday night for that one.
So on week 3.
Yeah.
Whoa, hello. What just happened there? All right.
Wait, so are we getting 2 bye weeks this year? No, we're not, aren't we?
Nope, 1 bye week.
Yeah, weren't they voting that we get 2 bye weeks?
Nope. That was going to be if it was an 18-week schedule or an 18-game schedule.
Yeah.
Which historically that has been talked about since the 80s of
they
trying to do an 18-game schedule. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen at some point. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it is going to happen for sure.
Yeah,
so
it will definitely happen. Yeah.
So week 4, what do you guys think? Do you think going away kind of game, kind of situation here?
I would say Cowboys or the Steelers, maybe. I don't know. Cowgirls.
home. Here, I'm just gonna put these in here too. Cowgirls, then you think that?
It's that's my take. I don't know. What do you guys think week 4? I'm thinking Cowgirls or the Steelers, or maybe the Jags. Well, because you got that. Cowgirls is not too far.
I would love it if they had like the Jaguars and the Dolphins being 2 away games back to back, because then they could essentially stay out in Florida, and then they just essentially kind of get more used to being out in Florida and everything too. I think that would be kind of dope if they do that. Will they do that? No, they will not.
Yeah, will they do it? Probably not.
Yeah. But I mean, remember last year we did that where we had 2 East Coast games back to back, and they stayed out there.
Yeah,
and I mean, it could be a possibility of trying to do something like that again this year. So, but yeah, week 4. What do you think? Do you guys want to go? Probably, I would assume another away game at this point.
Yeah, it's a Titans.
Titans.
Well, that's what Miguel says. I would say that or the Cowgirls. That's what I would say.
I kept leaning a little bit early on with the Titans with this one.
Okay,
So
let's go with that one.
Let's go with Titans. Let's go with Titans.
Dude, Cam Ward is solid, dude.
He's good. He's
good.
I thought it was pretty funny. They talked about his fit when he got drafted and he got sent over to the Titans, and they said he's got a wired headset and he's got some New Balance shoes, nothing too flashy. This guy's a Hall of Famer kind of thing. I thought it was pretty hilarious. But yeah, they got a good situation there. Callahan obviously needs to be able to get things right with that team. I mean, once again, year 1 for him was kind of figure things out with the Will Levis and everything, and kind of didn't really have a whole heck of a lot of pieces there. So Titans could be a good team this year for sure. We'll see. We'll see where it goes with them. So week 5, what do you guys think from this point? Now, bye weeks could continuously start at this point. What do you think about week 5? Do you feel we going back home after have 2 road games? Do you feel like we'd end up staying out on the road, or do we have a bye week at this point? So
this one could Dallas could show up.
I think Dallas is 3 road games, heavy road games at that point.
It could be Dallas. I would say Dallas or maybe the Vikings. That'd be my prediction.
Ooh, Vikings. For some reason,
Gar says bye week. Yeah, we had week 5 bye week. 2 years in a row? 2 years in a row?
Yeah. We've had really early bye weeks. Really early bye weeks.
Oh, Pablo, I love that joke. That's great.
Oh man. Well, I mean, if we want to do an early bye week again, I kind of don't want an early bye week. But
no, I'll say 7 or 8 is what I would say for bye week.
Yeah, I would hope getting a little bit more in that midpoint would be great. So I think we have to go back to a home game at this point. So we have a good amount of home games still to be played. So I would probably put the Texans week 5. I feel like that could be a pretty good one. Now, once again, that's a heavy amount of AFC games. We do still have 3 NFC games to work with. NFL did post today talking about the last time that Jaden Daniels and Justin Herbert played, and that was here in Arizona when ASU played Oregon here in Arizona, and ASU basically lost to LSU for that game. ASU, who was Jaden Daniels, beat Oregon at that time, and Justin Herbert was actually, if they won that game, they would have went to the playoffs. And so kind of a wild situation. So I feel like week 5 might try to bring another primetime type game potentially. I think the Commanders is going to be one of those that could potentially be kind of an earlier situation. But once again, where do we want week 5, guys? Home versus Eagles Sunday Night Football, Aether. Let's do it. Eagles Sunday Night Football. I like it. A lot of primetime games here, guys.
Yeah, this isn't biased or anything at all.
No. But I mean, at the same side, you got to realize that these are like very good matchups. Like the home schedule is a lot of very, very good matchups.
Yeah, very
extremely good matchups. So week 6, what do we think? Bye week 6, Miguel. Let's do it. Let's just get it rolling. Week 7. Where do we go from here, boys? Week 7. I'm just
say-
gonna say Washington next week after. George said that. Next week after.
I
guess
bet
we'll-
you. I bet you a lot of our big games for the interdivision will be at the end. Do you think we start the season with the Chiefs and end with the Chiefs? How crazy would that be?
And some of the predictions I've seen that have had the Chiefs
That would be
in week
so
17.
crazy.
So I've seen a lot of people end around here with the Chiefs at week 17 because they're kind of saying, hey, this could be a division type game.
Yeah.
So that would be a big game for sure. So, and it could be flexed to like a Sunday night football type game type situation.
How
too.
about we do the Cowgirls, dude?
Cowgirls week 7?
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Getting a couple of those NFC games out of the way. Now week 8, I feel like we have to go with the division game at some point here again. Can't be too tight to where you're going to have, back-to-back type situation here.
Yep.
So I feel like the Broncos will be week 8.
Okay.
That seems pretty good. Week 9. This would be the away game.
Grandizer says the Bears.
The
We're not
Bears.
playing the Bears.
The Bears.
The
The
Bears.
Bears.
Yeah, are the Bears going to be good this year?
Cowboys on Thanksgiving. That's a great point. That is a great point. And we did have that a couple of years ago too.
Yeah.
That the Cowboys could be a Thanksgiving game. That is a great point. Almost I want to feel like that would be week. I don't even know what week that would be. But that would be a great point. I mean, once again, putting a team that is really, really on and up and rising with the Chargers, put them on a primetime type situation too. That would be great. Week 9, let's go with Vikings home. I think it's a good one. I feel like these NFC games generally kind of go early on in the season. It's generally not late because they want the late week drama, late season drama type situation.
Well,
so,
and we also don't want the super cold weather like New York either.
100%.
So maybe New York week 10, something like that.
New York week 10. Oh man, they're going to be a disaster by that time.
Yeah.
So that's an away. Oops.
Yep.
And then week 11. So we got 4 home games left.
The Bills.
The Bills. Let's see here. Week 12 would be Cowgirls if you want to do that as a Thanksgiving game.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. So week 11, I feel like we got 2 aways. We are on the East Coast. We got to get one of these East Coast games out of here. I think it's going to go to the Dolphins. Yeah. I think Dolphins makes sense to me.
George says Jaguars as well too. That could be good. Jags maybe.
Do you want to do?
Maybe
Jags
week 12 Jags.
Too?
Yeah.
Like I said, dude, I'd love it if they stay out there for a couple weeks, dude.
Yeah, why not?
Awesome. And
now, again, guys,
right?
we are going to be getting the schedule release next week, so we are going to go live once that drops.
Yep.
So on Wednesday
it'll happen.
Okay, and this is when we do. Let's see, Raiders. So I'm thinking maybe like
this
Raiders.
Is gonna get crazy, yeah. I mean, we got the Steelers too, so that'll be an interesting thing at that point for them too. And you still got that Texans game,
and we still got Washington.
Yeah, and Washington. Like this back end schedule will be rough, like absolutely rough.
So I would say week 13, go Raiders. How about that?
Go Raiders. Okay,
yeah.
Raiders at home. Yeah, we started the season last year with them, right?
Yep. Oh God, that game was horrible.
Well, we won, so that's
I know,
good.
but like we saw 20 fights around us. It was just crazy.
It was ridiculous.
I mean, I felt like I was at a UFC match. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. I feel like at this point, I mean, we only have 2 away games at this point, so we can't go heavy home at this point.
So George says Texans next.
Texans, okay, yeah, and that's going to be a primetime game for sure, guaranteed. Yep. I'm going to say Thursday Night Football.
Okay,
that seems great. That seems like a perfect situation for the Chargers. Now, this one's going to be 4 games left here, boys, and they're not easy.
Commanders. I'd
Which
say
one Commanders?
Yeah,
kind of get the NFC, and that's going to be a primetime game. I think.
Yeah,
and then
I would say we're going to end with the Broncos or the Chiefs. So it probably maybe Steelers, Broncos, Chiefs. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Steelers, Broncos, Chiefs. Ooh, wow. So this would be home.
Yep.
Home.
Yep.
And then this is away. right here. Oh man, I can't get to that. This is home. Oh man, the sheet. Here we go. Hold on a second here, guys. Home. And then this is away. So would you go Chiefs?
Yeah, it'd be one of the two. I don't know.
Wow, that would be. Those are going to be prime time, dude.
Oh yeah, especially at the end of the season.
I think this will be a Monday night game if this is how it stands. Either which way, both ways, and this will be a Sunday night game.
Yeah, because I think the AFC West is going to be solid this year, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, and look, the Raiders are a much better team. Also,
Yep.
Pete Carroll's a really good head coach, and I hate to say it, they drafted really well. They picked up some really good players, so it's going to be good.
Look at the schedule, guys. Like you realize, look at this. Like this is like an away game, home game, and then you have an actual home game, away, home. Bye, away, home, away. So there's a 3-game stretch basically being on the East Coast could be brutal on you. And then 3 homes and then 4 homes, excuse me, from that point and 2 away. That's in that back end of that schedule. This is a gauntlet right here, guys.
Yeah.
This is an absolute gauntlet if this happens. Like this will be very difficult as a schedule in the back end. So
well,
once again, wow.
We'll see how solid we are. Let's see if we get any of these right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, it seems like the Chiefs one is correct. I mean, you're hearing that it sounds like that's the case. But once again, Wednesday, the official schedule will go out at that point. And we will go live during that time too. But this is just the Bolt Bros exclusive schedule there, Miguel.
This is it.
And
this is it.
Yeah, Rick Martinez, any squad, any place. Let's go, dude.
Hey, James, we got to take a photo of this and put it on our YouTube page too. So
absolutely.
Yeah, we got to make this happen. But yeah, I mean, we wanted to go through this just to kind of go through it. I know it's a little bit tedious, but hey, the schedule releases next week. We wanted to have ours done with you guys, and then we'll see if we get any of these right.
Yeah,
because we shall see.
Just like our draft picks, right? I don't think we got anybody right outside of Kyle. I think got it one of the picks, but it was in the wrong round. Yeah,
second round. It ain't gonna happen. Come on now.
And by the way, Ashton Genty signing like a $36 million fully guaranteed 4-year contract, bonkers. Like, but once again, he's a sixth pick in the NFL. You get big money in those first 10 picks, basically.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
We'll see. And once again, the Chargers did sign all of their draft picks outside of Amari and Hampton, Big O, and Trey Harris at this point. So once again, those will be signed here shortly. But I'm excited about the season, guys. Last comments on me. I'm excited about the season. Looking forward to the season going down. And I'm looking forward to see this actual schedule too. I'm excited to be able to get out there to the Bolt. Excited for training camp. Excited for alternate helmets, all these different jersey things that are going to be happening too. It's going to be exciting, guys. So I can't wait for the season.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing, guys. And again, I'm excited also. Look, this may sound a little strange, but I'm excited that our AFC West is going to be solid teams, dude. Like
it is.
As much as I don't like to see our team lose, I don't want to see us lose ever. But we're competitive. It's going to be really interesting to see how this season plays out, Dude, the Broncos are going to be good. The Chiefs are always good. Raiders are better. Chargers are better. I mean, I think it's going to be the toughest division in the NFL. So, well, it could be. We'll see how it plays out, obviously. But I'm just excited. I think our team got better. I'm excited. I cannot wait to see what happens. And man, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, guys. Now, final thought: do we do a animated video for the season schedule? I think we do something different this week. I don't know what it is. I think it's going to be something different.
Dude, I love it when you even look at all the other teams and the way they did it too. And I think it's funny when they go out into the streets and they show logos of teams and they're like, what's the name of this team? And they're like,
the Titans were so funny.
Yeah, it was such a good video.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Such a good video. So I'm looking forward to see what they do this year. Maybe they'll do another Japanese animation one too. That was pretty cool with the anime situation. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. So Chargers media is pretty undefeated, by the way. So
they are undefeated. Undefeated. Yeah, no, it's exciting. Well, guys, We're the Bolt Bros. We are going to go live as soon as that drops. But we got more videos coming out this week. We'll probably do a video on Steve-O, Klotz, maybe DJ Ungale, and then maybe that wide receiver Mims, from the undrafted free agent.
Yeah, Grim.
So
Grim.
So, Grim. Yeah, not Mims. Sorry about that. Yeah, but we'll get some more content out for you guys. We always bring you the heat. We bring the heat.
We the plug. We the plug.
Hey, we're gonna drip it out. We got to drip it out. There ain't much to talk about here for a little while, so we'll drip it out, guys.
Yeah, we got some things moving along here, guys. Actually, Grandizer had one quick question too. It said, any idea who the Chargers will have team practices with? Also, any idea who the preseason games will be against? I want to say they didn't kind of announce some of the preseason games. I don't remember if they did or not, but
let's see.
I assume it'd probably keep a lot of teams kind of close to LA. So Cardinals might be one of those that they come out here to Arizona for a preseason game. It's been a while since they've done that. They usually keep an interdivision or intercity type thing with the Rams, I assume. Obviously, the Hall of Fame game is against the Lions already, so that is officially announced. That is on the August 31st game. So it's basically about 3 games. So I assume it's probably going to be the Niners, Cardinals, and Rams is what I'm going to think it's going to be.
That makes sense.
They just kind of keep it in that small zone area.
Well, wait. Aren't the Raiders? The Raiders are in LA too.
The Raiders are in Vegas.
No. They're in their practice. Their practice facility in LA.
So last year I think they kind of did they just did that for some reason. And I don't know if they made that official as the Costa Mesa being like their place. And I don't know the reason why they did that. I think Tom Telesco was like, hey man, I'm going to be here 1 year and I just want to be near my house here at Newport Beach anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's officially going to be their spot. Now the Saints also do practice out in Costa Mesa too. So I don't know. I really don't know. So we'll see if that's going to be the case too. But my thoughts is that they want to keep the Chargers in kind of a smaller area for their preseason games.
Yeah,
well, I guess they're doing that with the Ohio game, but they're going to Brazil
last year. So it was just last year then. Okay. Yeah. Because I couldn't remember. Someone was saying it was a longer contract. I was a little bit surprised. Like, that's crazy. Like, why would they do that?
Yeah.
So,
and I don't know why they did that. And I think it was something that they were testing out. And they only let season ticket holders go to the game.
Yeah, that was crazy too.
So
that was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, Saints are in Irvine. That's the one I was thinking about. That's the other one I was thinking about. Okay.
And Cowboys are in Oxnard too. So, I mean, there are it's funny because Southern California has kind of become like training camp for a lot of teams that are like high humidity, high, heat type situations. So it's almost like they're kind of like doing like spring training here in Arizona and Florida kind of thing for baseball kind of thing. So it seems like they're kind of almost doing that. So, but yeah, we'll see. We'll keep you guys updated with everything. We get Charger related news for you.
100%. All right, guys.
All right, guys.
We're the Bolt Bros. Hey, happy Mother's Day again. Remember, say hi to your mammy.
That's right.
We love our women. They're amazing. They're incredible. Be nice. Give them a hug and kiss,
Woo,
and we'll see you guys in the next one.
All right, guys. Bull Bros. Let's go.
Hey, what's up? Cameron Dick here watching the Bolt Bros podcast. Let's go.